We have a class of 50 recruits, which is the largest class that we've had since 2018. So before I go any further, I think I have some thank yous that I need to say. First of all, I want to say thank you to our mayor, Mayor London Breed, because really her determination, her grit in terms of doing the things that were necessary to make this come to fruition cannot be understated. Also, we have the president of the Police Officers Association, Tracy McCray, here, and I'd like to thank President McCray, Lieutenant McCray as well, because it takes a lot of different pieces to really move the ball on recruitment. As you all know, there's a staffing crisis across this entire country with police staffing. And we are one of many cities that were facing some dire needs in terms of getting applicants to apply, first of all, getting them through that process, and then getting enough applicants to have healthy academy classes. And in the last few years, we've had classes as low as 9 people graduating, which is the lowest in many, many years. So to have 50 is a big deal. It is a really big deal. And how we got here, a couple of things. Competitive salaries, you know, thanks to the mayor, President, Lieutenant McCray, in terms of the contract that our officers have, it is one of the most competitive contracts out there, and the salaries and wages are really, really outstanding. And that attracts people. That gets attention and attracts people, but there's more to it than that. Also, the retention end of things. You know, we were losing a lot of officers to other departments after 2020, the pandemic, and everything that happened in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd. We were losing a lot of people, and we had to come up with ways to retain those officers. So part of the contract was incentives to have officers stick around, and that also is paying dividends. You know, we're losing fewer people now. Less people are leaving the department to go to other departments, and on top of that, our lateral hires are increasing steadily because of these incentives. So the SFPD, the San Francisco Police Department, is that department now where people want to come to. And that did not happen just by chance. It happened because of hard work. It happened because of this mayor, this POA president, and the department working in conjunction with both of them and the board and others. Also, the momentum for this department is going through the roof. Our morale is going up. You know, it's not perfect. Let me be clear about that. But things are so much better than they were 2-3 years ago. So with that in mind, this is what got us to today with 50 recruits. And just a few other notes that I want to talk about in terms of our recruitment effort. You know, our recruitment, definitely we want to hire people from the city, from this region, but we're also looking nationwide. We've had recruiters all across this country trying to get the best candidates to serve this city. As far as our processes, we've cut down the timeline that it takes to get through the background processes. We hired a whole lot of retired former employees, former police officers, to really staff up our capabilities to get the backgrounds done in a timelier fashion. So as I stand here today, we have almost 500 applicants in the background process. So the next class should be just as healthy. The next class should be just as robust. We have 36 conditional offers of employment for the next class, and that class will start at the beginning of next year. So things are really looking up. And you know, as far as the process, again, streamlining that process to make sure that when we do get candidates in the pool, that we get them processed as quickly as possible. And there's still work to be done. We expect to even get better on that. And the last thing I want to say is, you know, we're participating in the 30 by 30 initiative. We are definitely, you know, this department is open to everyone, but we are emphasizing the need to hire more women. You know, we have about 15% women in this department, and our goal is to get it up to about 30% within the next 6 years. So that's a very aggressive goal, but with the partnerships that we have, I think we'll make that goal as well. So this is a wonderful day for us. This is a world-class city. This is a world-class department, and we want to live up to that expectation and live up to that this is world-class. And with that, again, I thank the mayor, but you should hear directly from her. So without further ado, Mayor London Breed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Scott. I must say this has been a while coming, and as Chief Scott mentioned, there's been a lot of hard work to get us to this point. I know that people want safety in San Francisco, and I am really proud and excited that crime is lower than it's been in a decade. But it's lower than it's been in a decade because of all the work that we are doing together. And more importantly, with our district attorney, who's also a part of this, our law enforcement leaders in San Francisco are working collaboratively to make sure that we arrest, that we do the appropriate investigations, and that we hold people accountable. I think that's been the biggest difference, and it has been a long time coming, and it has been a very difficult journey, but this is really exciting, and it's very promising. And more importantly, what we are finding, as Chief Scott mentioned, is working with the Police Officers Association and Lieutenant Tracy McCray, we wanted to dig deep and understand what are the challenges that our officers face. And because of the contract that was negotiated by my office, we are now competitive, especially in the Bay Area. When the chief talks about laterals, he's talking about people, police officers who are leaving other jurisdictions to come work for San Francisco. He's talking about people who believe that not just because of our pay, but because we are finally providing our officers with 21st century technology, with the tools they need to do their jobs. Proposition E that passed by the voters this past March was put on the ballot by me, but it came from our officers who wanted the ability to use drones and surveillance and other tools, and we're finally using it. And it is delivering significant results. And we are introducing technology to help with reporting, to make the department more efficient. And on top of that, we have, in some of our reforms, removed the responsibilities that police have with those struggling with mental illness and wellness checks. We've made some adjustments so that our officers can focus on the important work. It's a combination of all of these things as to why we are seeing the kinds of results we're seeing. But I do want to make it very clear that we understand that, if people, the numbers say one thing, but if people don't feel safe, we of course have more work to do. And I want to be also very clear that we know no matter what, this is a major city and crime happens. But the difference is when something happens, our officers are there. And this new class of 50 adds to an existing class, putting that number over 80 people currently in the academy. And with our new recruits coming online, we expect to be fully staffed in this department by 2026, taking into consideration people who are also retiring. And also, in some cases, those retirees are coming back and providing assistance as ambassadors and walking the beats. They're providing assistance with our contracting process where we have made things easier. When you are dealing with a complex city and complex situations, it takes an understanding of how this stuff works in order to deconstruct it to get to yes. And the hard work that we have done together has gotten us to this place where it is now yielding the kinds of results that we can be proud of. And we are excited that people are choosing, in the law enforcement industry that is suffering all over the country, they are choosing San Francisco as that option. And we are so excited and proud. The chief mentioned our 30 by 30 plan, a plan to bring 30% women to the police department by 2030. Well, this current class has 22% women who are part of it. We're doing more work to recruit. And I also want to express how excited I am about a lot of the changes around violent crime with this department. We anticipate, we know that again, crime will happen, and the biggest difference that we have are these officers and the hard work they do even behind the scenes with investigations. We are anticipating that our homicide rate will be lower than it's been since 1960. But what most people aren't talking about is our clearance rate, our solve rate, almost 90%, higher than any other place in the country, because, again, our officers have the support and the tools they need to combat these issues. And I'm really excited about what this means for San Francisco, what this means for public safety, and what this means for our future, and what people are starting to already see, but will continue to see, and what they will continue to feel. A safe place for all residents in every part of San Francisco. And with that, I want to introduce the person who we've been working hand in hand when we put together the resources we need to get license plate readers, drone technology, surveillance technology, and some of the work we're doing with allowing some of the reports to be written using our camera systems and other things that we're trying to do to give the police officers tools that they need to actually focus on doing their jobs. The person who's been an incredible partner in all of this work and has really led on so many of these issues that are now finally starting to bear the fruit is no other than the head of the Police Officers Association, Lieutenant Tracy McCray.
Oh, you don't have to clap for me, you gotta clap for them. Thank you all for coming out this morning. I especially want to thank Mayor Breed, Chief Scott, to work collaboratively with them, the department, to get the things that the members I represent need. I think we all know we had to have a reset. The policing profession is not the same profession that I know certainly what it was when we came in to our careers starting as police officers. A lot of things have changed, but it takes a real leader to go out and hear it straight from the people who do this job. And that's what Mayor Breed did. She went and talked to the men and women, the boots on the ground, to hear what they had to say and what they needed. Because as you all know, we have friends who work in other departments who have had some of this technology that we now have to help us do our jobs better. So it wasn't just me trying to say something to her, but it was actually her actually going out and speaking with the men and women who do this job. And not many people would have done that. You know, you're gonna hear everything A to Z, what's good, what's bad, what's not working. But I think we have a pathway to move forward now. Policing is not what it used to be, as I said before, and we have to change with the times. And my job is to try to work to make it better for every person who steps into this building, because you enter to learn, you're gonna leave to serve this city and to help them do their job a lot better. So I'm just one person in the big scheme of a lot of people trying to help and do the right thing in this city. And you have seen changes. Crime rates are lower than they're, like she just said, it's gonna be the murder rate lower than probably since 1960. When have you ever heard that of a big city, world-class, renowned city that has happened? Do we still have challenges? Of course we do. I spoke to this new class this morning at 8 o'clock. It's a diverse class. It's great to see young, old, you know, people who've changed careers to decide that they want a career in service, because that's what this career is. You are serving the citizens in the city of San Francisco, and we need everyone to be on board with that. So I'm appreciative of all the hard work that the mayor and the chief have put in. One, to get the class back up to 50, it's great to see. Let's keep it rolling. 36, I think you could do 14 more, you can get 50. So the challenge is to keep challenging ourselves. And we will rise to the occasion. So thank you very much. I appreciate everyone who showed up here. It's hot. I'm ready to get inside.
Any questions? Are we good?
You guys, if there's any questions, we can take a couple, but we're going to head in, and the mayor and the chief are going to address the academy too.
I have a question. So where do those 50 police cadets come from, and how much they earn?
How much, what was the second part?
How much they earn?
So the starting salary is 112. That's not with benefits. With benefits is even higher, but 112,000 is the starting salary. They come from everywhere. We have local people. We have people from around the state. Like I said, it's a nationwide recruitment effort. So, you know, we want to get San Franciscans and people from the region if we can. But the doors are open to everybody, and so we have, as President Lieutenant McCray said, and the mayor, it's a very diverse class, so they come from everywhere.
What did they do before they joined?
A variety. I mean, we have a lot of college graduates. We have people that have changed careers from the business world. We have people that were in security. It's just a variety of different backgrounds that we have in the academy, and that really makes us special, because that diversity brings a lot of different perspectives and world points of views and worldviews, and at the end of the day, diversity is what makes us who we are. So it's too many to mention. Business, security, we have people that were in the military. It's a hodgepodge, and a lot of college graduates, a lot of people with secondary degrees, advanced degrees. So it's a really good class.
Chief Scott, could you speak a little bit to why you think it took until now to get to a 50-person academy class, and also what impact do you think Prop F could have on people, just police staffing overall in the future?
Sure. So why did it take until now? 2020 and 2021, it was going in the opposite direction. And I mean that literally. It was going in the opposite direction. Not only were more people leaving the department, but we had less people applying. Our applicant pool went down to numbers that we hadn't seen in many, many years. It takes a lot of different things to turn that around. And in this city, number one, we have a mayor that was committed to turning it around. All the things, I won't repeat everything that she said, but the salaries that were negotiated, the contract that was negotiated, the retention pay, that took time in and of itself. Also, we had to turn around what people think about this department and policing in general. And now that's kind of swung the other way. 3 years ago, things were really, really tough. Morale was low. There was a lot of scrutiny and criticism of policing in general, and this department was no exception from that. And we had people at that time who had gotten through that entire process, and then when everything came to a head, they decided, hey, I don't want to do this job. It's not worth it to me. That has turned around. Now, it's still a difficult profession. Let me be clear about that. But it's a great profession, and I think people are getting back to what this is really about. As Lieutenant McCrae said, we want people here who want to serve. We want people here who come in here for the right reasons. The salaries are great. We all have to take care of our families and our personal needs, but you have to have a heart for service, and that's what we are looking for. But all those pieces that had to happen to get us to this point is why it took so long. I don't know of any department in the country that didn't struggle in the last 2 years, because this was a nationwide crisis, and some people still aren't out of it yet. And here, we have turned it around. So I'm very happy, and I'm humbly saying that. This is not an arrogant statement. I'm very happy that we are where we are, because many departments still aren't there yet. That's because of the leadership of these two women behind me and many others. So that's why we turned it around.
All right, we can do one more question, and we're going to go inside.
How many police vaccines are there now?
How many?
How many police vaccines?
Vacancies?
Vacancies.
So we are still about 500 short from where our workload analysis says that we should be. I will say this, though, with the class sizes that we have, with the retention incentives that we have, with less people retiring, we do expect that to be erased. And if we can be consistent with this pace that we're going on, we expect that to be erased. So things are really looking up for us.
You guys, thank you. We're going to go inside. Mason will help you guys get organized.